If you want to have a Lamborghini, don't expect me to pay for the rental of your Lamborghini. And it's the same for all your expensive choices in life.
You know, whether you like it or not, paying your way at a wedding helps society not break down. Everyone knows what to do. Let's not change it up. Let's not rock the boat too much.
How far are we going to take this tradition to? Just capitalism at work.
Just because it's money doesn't mean there's no emotion behind it, there's no love. Money doesn't cheapen the wedding.
What if they're like a close friend of yours or a relative who genuinely don't have the means? How then?
Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm a writer and I'm probably the least likely to commit murder this episode.
Hi, I'm Shahinda. I'm a writer and video content producer. I might commit murder this episode.
I'm Drew. I'm a writer here at Mothership. I have no murderous impulses in my body.
Hi, I'm Xing Qi. I do imagine killing someone on this table a lot. Yeah.
You just looked at me.
Okay, welcome to Bottlespin Debates, where every episode we pretend to be expert debaters on a particular social political topic. We'll have a gamified debate where we spin the bottle, see which camp we fall into, and then argue for the win.
Yeah, and you guys will decide the winning team. So let us know who do you think will win this debate in the YouTube community post. And if you have any topic suggestions, you can let us know in the comments as well.
So, you guys ready for today's debate statement?
Yeah, hit us with it, Hannah.
All right, so today's statement is...
Hey, we're not in sync. 1, 2, 3. Xing Qi.
You think Dragon Boat, man?
Okay, today's debate statement is wedding guests should be expected to cover the banquet costs.
I'm supposed to do the terms and conditions. Just a gentle reminder that views expressed in this podcast do not, and I repeat, do not represent the views of Mothership or other associated parties. Just a fun debate to keep us going.
And before we get into today's topic, I want to ask who here on the table is actually married or is getting married soon?
Syah is getting married soon.
You are married already.
This year?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wait,
yeah.
you don't know the date?
No, am I invited?
You're not.
When-
You
I
can
don't
know
think I am
the date,
invited.
but
Oh
you're
my
not
gosh, I'm
invited.
finding out live.
When am I getting married? The date?
Oh, I know this one.
I think
also
Xing
know.
Qi
May
is...
the 4th?
I also know.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Am I that predictable?
Yes.
Yeah, May the 4th.
Am I invited?
So, Xing Qi, you married?
Yes, I'm married.
Yeah.
How's that going?
How's that going? It is going. It is still going.
Oh, good.
Thankfully.
Yeah, good to hear.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about the topic, that guests should cover?
Do you think about this a lot before you go to weddings? Or
No.
is it just like a whatever?
Oh, I have a friend who will actually call the hotel and say, hey, how much is it per table? I'm going to the wedding this Saturday or something, so that she can cover costs.
Damn. Isn't it under lists like online that say these things?
Yeah, I guess so, but maybe
Your friend must be old. Young people don't call them.
Yeah, no.
yeah, my age, yeah.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
When I first got the topic, I'm like, if I'm in the 4 team, I might just cry.
Why? But you're getting married.
So you don't want anyone to cover the costs at your wedding?
You don't want?
It's just not, at least in the Malay culture, that's not our tradition. There's no like amount that's required.
There's no guide,
There's no guide.
right?
What's
You
it like
just-
in the Eurasian culture?
Oh, it's mostly around the same. Like you usually, instead of maybe ang pao, you get like a card or a white envelope, something like that.
Is there some expectation about covering banquet costs?
Actually, not really.
Okay.
Like it's most of my Eurasian family that are married out of the culture, so it's always the Chinese banquet. So in the end, we still end up giving market rate, or if
Right.
it's with my family, then my mom and dad pays more. Because I'm not that close to my cousin sometimes.
Okay, I think it's time to spin the bottle. Yes. Okay, so the first 2 people who get picked by this bottle right here, they will be in the 4 team. The oldest will do the honors.
Person who has been married the longest.
Yes.
All right.
He's the only one married
right.
Exactly.
as of today. Which? Drew. Oh, my heart was beating.
Right, the last one.
Oh man.
All right. Syah, looks like we are.
Okay. Switch place.
For team, please share your opening statement.
So we are for that wedding guests should be expected to cover the cost of the banquets for 3 points. Tradition and culture, where it is a cultural do, The second point would be helping wedding guests enjoy a guilt and stress-free wedding. Then lastly, it will add to their wedding fund and they will be able to pay for the wedding they want and not have it dictated by their parents.
So, me, Shahinda, and Xing Qi, we are against this debate topic. Weddings are joyous occasions. It's a celebration of two people who are in love.
Of love.
Correct. So we believe in the concept of sincerity in giving, in celebrating this joyous and special occasion, instead of the concept of breaking even or having a business transaction. There's a lot of issues that stem from expecting wedding guests to cover the cost of banquets, okay? What about those guests who actually don't have the means, who can't afford? What if they're like a close friend of yours or a relative who genuinely don't have the means? How then? And essentially, couples, like I said earlier, they are the ones who decide for themselves what kind of weddings they want to have. If you want to have a lavish and big wedding, then that's on you. You invite the guests because you want them there, because you want them to be part of this celebration and special occasion, not because you expect them to give back.
I mean, in Singapore, we have like a culture, right? Like a certain tradition and things and a way of doing things. And these kind of things help life to move along smoothly and help society to function. And, whether you like it or not, paying your way at a wedding is one of these traditions, right? It helps society stick together, helps society not break down. Imagine all the fights and arguments that could happen over your guests at a wedding, just because someone hasn't paid their way or just because someone, hasn't followed the tradition. So following to the tradition is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes tradition can be a good thing because it just helps us move forward without arguments or conflicts. Everyone knows what to do. This is the way it's always been done. Let's not change it up. Let's not rock the boat too much.
Especially in Singapore, where you have to give like ang pao. Ang pao is that red packet that you receive that is meant to symbolize blessings and joy. It's all conveyed in what's inside the ang pao and the ang pao itself. If you compare it to maybe America or any Western culture that has gift registry, this tradition of giving money is also very practical. The whole point of giving money is the practicality. That's why we always prefer to receive money over gifts.
I take umbrage. I take umbrage with the term Singapore weddings, because I don't think that is actually accurate. Because the tradition, the tradition that you are talking about is only relative to Chinese weddings. The idea of covering your own banquets or covering your own plate does not actually exist in Malay and Indian weddings. As a Malay person myself, in Malay culture, yes, we do provide gifts to the couple, and sometimes we also give cash, but there is no rate that we follow. There is no guide. You are not expected to pay. If you don't have the means, we understand. Beyond that, I think we are always evolving. Society is ever evolving, and some traditions we clearly see right now. Any wedding, Malay, Indian, Chinese wedding, they're all getting more modernized. Some traditions stay, some traditions change. So why should we stick to this particular tradition? Because this tradition, it's not necessarily beneficial for everybody. Sometimes it can be detrimental as well.
If you look at it, I think the society has moved on multiple issues. I think, for example, 377A was repealed. This is a sign of a moving society. We don't need to go into that discussion, but I think my point is we are always evolving and times are changing and we need to keep up with the times. And this thing about gifting money or covering costs, it is just capitalism at work. The hotels are giving this, how much is it per table now? So expensive, it's
so the
$4,000 or something.
Yeah. Bro, that's really expensive, by the way.
How far are we going to take this tradition to, Are we going to just, it's okay, it's a $10,000 table, I'll just give $1,000 as ang pao. I think that's ridiculous.
If it's a close family, wouldn't you give a large sum of money to help?
That's another thing.
Which is where the ang pao tradition comes from. You're supposed, especially family, close friends, they're the ones that are giving a large sum to help with the wedding. That's their joy, that's their gift. Because it's not cheap to hold these weddings. Everyone knows that, but this is their way of helping. Is again a practical gift. And when you were talking about how some traditions, should change and be updated, are you saying that ang pao's an old tradition that should be gotten rid of?
I'm not saying ang pao should be gotten rid of. I think covering costs should be gotten rid of.
Yeah. So what Xing Qi is trying to say is that we're not completely getting rid of the tradition of gifting ang paos. It's just that should you cover the cost? Or should there be ang pao rates, for example? It should be on the wedding guests' their own financial capabilities, whether they can afford, and it shouldn't like put a strain on their bank accounts or their wallets. Essentially, is what we're trying to say.
That's right. He has to stop somewhere, I suppose.
Yeah, so I agree that not all traditions have to be maintained, but there are some traditions or some norms that we maintain because they are helpful to society. And I would argue that covering the cost of your seat at a wedding is one of those norms especially for Chinese weddings that is useful and is practical beyond just the fact that it is a tradition. So and we have other points later that we'll discuss that we'll be more than happy to bring up to show you why it's so
ran out of talking
practical.
Now.
And,
Producer, let's move on. I think the onus is on the couple, right? If you want a horse to ride, you better be able to afford that horse. If you want to have a Lamborghini to ferry you around, don't expect me to pay for the rental of your Lamborghini. And it's the same for all your expensive choices in life. You want to have it at a 6-star, 7-star hotel. You want it in front of, Gardens by the Bay, Jewel Airport. I'm happy for you, but please be prepared to afford this and not expect me to pay for your things.
So he mentioned like Gardens by the Bay, Flower Dome, Gardens by the Bay. The ang pao rate is around $480 to, it can go up to $840.
This is according to SingaporeBrides.com.
Yes, according to SingaporeBrides.com. And that is crazy.
That's madness.
That's
like I need to save up to go for a wedding. Right?
Yes.
I have to save up a few months for this. I guess it's about a bit financial literacy. I don't know. You gotta know, right? I mean, it's not like, I can just spend 50k first. I can expect the 50k to come back or something, because it should be seen as an expenditure and not I can cover this. There's a P&L. I can balance the books. Yeah, it's not joyous anymore. I mean, you're stressed up thinking of that. Like, oh my God, table 39 is that guy paying me $20, and this is a $400 seat.
Yeah, again, the onus is on the couple because there are so many different ways for you to actually have an affordable wedding. Okay, I'm getting married, right? Okay, so I didn't opt for a bridal service. I decided to just get a ready-made wedding dress because I thought, it will be more affordable. And I didn't buy it in Singapore. I went to Malaysia. I went to JB.
But like, guests aren't covering the cost of the dress.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying there are ways for you to save costs because in general, right, weddings are always viewed as expensive.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
So on top of that, let's go to wedding venues or catering services.
Yes.
Personal experience again, because I'm literally in the middle of planning my wedding. So my venue, it's actually just an event space in Tampines. So it's not like those lavish place, but it looks lavish because of the decorations, because of how intimate the setting is and everything. So you don't have to have a wedding at a hotel, or you don't have to have your wedding at Gardens by the Bay for it to still be whoa. You know what I mean? As for catering services, honestly, if you do your proper research, there are some catering services that are actually really affordable. So for me, my wedding venue didn't come with a catering service, so I have to source out my own catering service, and mine is literally $15 per pax.
Yeah, I mean, why do you want to keep, looking at, 5-star hotels, 6-star hotels? Is it a matter of just face? I'm getting married at Shang, wow. I mean, there are better food at some restaurants, like what Syah mentioned. I mean, it's about your research, better catering, and you don't need to pay an arm or a leg to enjoy those food.
The couple is the one who picks the venue. That's totally correct. But also on the other side, the guests have a choice to make as well, whether they want to go. They're not obligated to go as well. So this whole wedding venue and the cost of the wedding, I think it's a mutual agreement it should be a mutual agreement between the wedding couple, the couple that's getting married, and the guests, right? So a couple who's getting married, they can think about which venue they want to pick depending on their guests as well, right? Which kind of venues can your guests afford? It's like saying if you want to go to a nice concert, of course you have to pay the way to the concert, or if you can't afford it, then you just don't go, right? I think it's the same thing with a wedding. If you want to go to the wedding, you want to celebrate with the couple, then you decide okay, can I afford this? I can afford this. I will go and I'll pay. If I can't afford it, then okay, sorry, I would love to be there to celebrate with you guys. Maybe I'll celebrate at a different time. But I can't afford this. I won't turn up.
And good
Well,
friends would definitely, you know,
Let them talk. We
and
talk a
good
lot
friends
just
would,
now.
you know, understand that. Like if you talk to them and tell them, oh, maybe this is a bit out of my budget right now. I would love to celebrate with you in another way. We can do that some other time. Good friends would be like, yeah, I totally get it. They won't be like forcing you to come. And you were mentioning about like, you know, saving face and all that. Like why are people having it at Shangri-La and all that? There is also that consideration that, you know, this may not actually be their choice. Parents might have a very big say. Their parents like, oh, okay, this is maybe my only child's wedding. I want it to be fabulous. I want it to be big. Everyone's invited, the whole kampong, the whole community, everyone, their grandma's aunt, sister, cousin, whatever. Unfortunately, their hands are tied because they have this, maybe not a duty, but their family wants to celebrate them. They want it to be big. So it's really, like, it's not just like, oh, it's for my face. I want to show off. There's something a bit more personal, a bit more nuance to it because family relations are, you know, a bit tough.
Well, I just wanted to say that usually people get married once. Usually.
Usually.
Taylor Swift can come multiple times.
I thought what? I thought some intellectual thing. No.
Yeah, it's quite intellectual.
Taylor Swift
No,
can
but
come
wait,
so many
so
times.
how does that help your argument? Just to clarify.
You're talking about a concert thing, right?
Yeah.
He literally just picked one
I just
tiny
waiting for
part,
that.
and
No, but
that's the part he was dying to say.
All I'm saying is that any place that you want to go to, any event, any dinner, any special occasion, there's normally a price associated with that. And if you can't afford the price, then you just don't go.
Yeah,
And that's
but
how
it's-
life works.
sometimes it's a
Eras
once in a
tour is only
lifetime
gonna
thing.
be once. She's not gonna have the same tour
It's
again.
a once in a lifetime
so-
thing.
Okay, next point.
Yes.
Next point. Now thinking about the guest side of things, right? I think that paying your way into a wedding, covering the cost for the wedding, helps you enjoy the wedding guilt-free and stress-free. I've lived in countries before where the common practice is to give a gift. And like, let me tell you, it's a super stressful, give a gift instead of giving an ang pao. And let me tell you, it's super stressful ordeal. You have to like rack your brain to think about what's the perfect gift to give this couple. Are they going to throw this gift away immediately? Will it sit in a box for the rest of its life? Knowing exactly what to give in Singapore, which is like, okay, I just need to find out how much it costs at this hotel ballroom or whatever. And I'm just going to give this amount. It takes all that thinking away. You can just go, you don't have to prepare much. All you have to do is withdraw money or whatever. Even nowadays, you can use like a QR code. You just show up, you give that, and then you can enjoy your time at the wedding. Like, you know, in some cultures, like in Japan, right? You give a gift depending on your status to the bride. So I guess if you're closer or if you're the boss or something like that, then you'll give a higher amount, and if you know you're further away socially or whatever, then you give a lesser amount. Like that sounds like the most stressful thing in the whole world. Why not everyone just give the same amount, which is the amount that will cover the costs for you eating that meal, and then just call it a day, go and enjoy yourself. Right, Hannah?
Yeah, and like the wedding banquets, we all know are not cheap. You're having a really fancy buffet, at least if you go into like maybe Gardens by the Bay, or even your catering, it would be good quality food.
Are
Like,
you going to tell them when you invite them, hey, this is $150 per head table? Are you going to do that to ensure them to have a guilt-free experience?
no, but all this information is readily online.
Oh, so you're expecting them to go research.
When my cousin was getting married in like South Beach, there is this fancy ass hotel. Looking back, I feel bad because I gave him like not a lot, and he had an open bar. There were tequila shots, you know, drunk rugby players lying down on the ground.
Ooh.
Like, I feel
Sorry.
What's that?
Nothing. Carry on, Hannah.
this year,
No, please. Sorry, that was
So,
just
like,
yep.
looking back, I actually feel really bad that I gave way under than what I should have. If I knew what I knew now.
Yeah, wrecked
I
with
would've-
guilt,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with like actually saying like, this is how much it costs. But at the same time, if you don't want to say it, and I understand why someone might not want to openly say that information is readily available on the internet. Like I just had to like Google wedding venue price list or whatever, and it came up like this list, multiple websites with different rates.
And it's absolutely comprehensive. They give you a range as well. So yeah, it's so helpful.
Well, I mean, this guilt-free thing, it feels like you're transferring this guilt of, you know, towards the guest instead.
No, I'm arguing for like a universal agreement. Everyone just says we're going to cover costs, so you don't have to. It's no.
If it's cover
ambiguity.
cost, then I don't have that. I feel guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you
How
can't
is it
cover
guilt-free
the cost,
for
then
me?
don't go, right? Like that's what we said
mean, like,
earlier.
yeah.
And I love you as a person, and my best friend in the world.
Aww.
How can I not go?
If I think that my friends cannot afford this wedding and I want my friends to be there, then I'll just pick a venue where my friends can afford. And that's the agreement that we as a society can come to.
There's going to be a very long ass survey right there.
No, you just have to you know
you
your
do
friends,
your
right?
friends.
It's not gonna be
Okay,
a guilt-free
everyone,
thing.
in order for us to move forward, we have to take a step back. Let's talk about wedding guests. The definition of a guest is
Yes, I guess.
someone who is being invited, a
Yes.
visitor. If you have a guest to your home, do you expect, hey,
Cover charge.
So actually, if you're a guest, you don't really turn up to someone's house empty-handed, do you? You always
that's
bring
considered quite
something.
rude.
yes, of course, people don't go somewhere empty-handed, right? I mean, out of courtesy, out of respect.
Yeah, it'd be totally rude to do that.
Yes, and I agree. But should there be a minimum benchmark? How do you actually expect everyone to pay or bring the same thing, pay the same amount? Again, the Malay culture, of course, I will bring that up since I'm Malay. And this has been our tradition forever. Like this is how we do our weddings. And there are no market rates at Malay weddings. And yet, the occasion is still just as joyous. The occasion is still just as special. Even beyond Singapore, it's a practice that happens in the western part of the world. Like for example, in America, they don't expect people to cover their own plate.
No, but they
right?
expect people to do other things at the wedding.
Yes, but then must you cover
gift
your own
register.
cost?
I mean, I can buy you a toaster.
No, as in the point I'm saying is that like every
Yeah.
culture, when it comes to wedding, there are certain expectations. So it just so happens that in Singapore, Chinese culture at the weddings, you're expected to cover the costs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the culture for Singaporean weddings, Singaporean Chinese weddings.
And Americans have kind of...
Nice save that, Drew.
No worries.
And even Americans are pivoting away from gift registry. Like no one
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
to turn up to a wedding with a big wrap box. Now everyone's is using it's the idea to cover the cost of your meal there. So it's not really just a Singaporean Chinese thing or a Chinese thing or an Asian thing. Like a lot of Western countries have their own traditions. Spain, I think this is a great idea. In their wedding invitation, they put the bank details. It's like putting your QR code there to get paid. Traditional Italian weddings, brides carry a satin bag where guests place envelopes of cash of at least maybe 100 to 400 euros, which if you take an account, exchange rate is a lot more than what a dinner would cost here. And that is to have to dance with the bride. And that's a tradition that's highly respected in Italy.
In some Western countries, they'll literally have a list of things that they want, and then the guests like buy those things and like kind of tick it off. So actually, like if you have a gift registry and you are gonna say exactly what you want, then it's not that far off to put like a price of like the dinner.
Yes, gift giving is always there, right? I think in all cultures. Is it safe to say? Wow, I don't know that anyhow say.
think so.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Quite
Gift giving.
universal.
Yeah, but I think it is fair for us to question culture and question tradition, even if it has been long withstanding.
Anyways, Denise wants us to wrap up this point, so I think we can all agree.
No,
I think we can all agree.
No, I don't think we
that
can all
paying away at
agree.
a wedding is to help you have a guilt and stress-free wedding.
No,
Okay.
we disagree.
Absolutely not.
We can all agree. Okay, go on.
All of us, all four of us, we talk so much about, okay, you have to pay for this, you shouldn't pay for that, you should pay for this, blah, 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 blah. And then we're just neglecting the whole point of a wedding is to celebrate. After you get married, you're supposed to be happy, correct or not?
Yes.
Say it with more happiness.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the only one married here.
It shouldn't be like, okay, the first thing you do after get married, let's count all the ang paos we receive. Let's see who never give enough money. Let's see what this is. You guys are like forgetting the whole point of marriage.
Yes.
You know?
But I have to admit, I did come.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, don't people immediately count it?
come on.
You're
It's
so
always
lucky.
fun opening the ang pao and count money.
Did you check who wrote the name? Who's the ang pao?
No,
sorry.
no. You can't
This
deny
is
that.
on my side.
You
bro.
will enjoy it when it's your turn.
Yeah, so they'll be
Ooh.
happy.
No,
Money.
Malay weddings different. Malay couples different.
Okay.
Right after they get married, they do something else. If you get what I mean. Cause halal already, Okay, anyway.
That's not going to be kept inside, is
Yeah.
it?
All the cum
Why not?
jokes and-
It's
Yeah,
true.
man. You're too
Bro.
close to your wedding. Yeah, all you can think about is sex now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Bastard, all of you. Okay. What we're trying to convey is that firstly, this is more about emotions. This is about sentiments. This is about us being human. instead of like what Xing Qi said just now, capitalism or business transaction or gift exchange or making profit or what a wedding shouldn't
Not
be.
you, but the point.
I thought you spit at me. I was like, yeah.
I mean, you're trying to make it sound like weddings should be all about like emotion and like love and whatever. And then like somehow like the exchanging of money is like anti all these things. And I think that is the wrong way to view these things. I mean, like imagine you have a dinner with a bunch of friends, or you meet a bunch of friends and you go have some drinks and you have a really great time, form some great memories, talk about some good old times. And then at the end of the night, the bill comes out and then everyone decides to split the bill. That doesn't make the occasion like all of a sudden less friendly or the memories. It doesn't take away the great memories that you guys had. That's just the custom and the agreed upon way to deal with these things. So I don't think money or like the exchange of money necessarily takes away from what is a joyous, loving occasion.
So what we're trying to say is when you put a certain benchmark to money, that's when the emotions are gone. That's what I'm trying to convey. Using your analogy of, you go out for dinner with friends and in the end you all split the bill.
Yeah, it was a good analogy.
Yeah, it is a good analogy. Yes, it's a good analogy. Okay, so what if, there's someone who can't afford? If we don't have any emotions, right? If emotions are completely gone, right? We'll just say, no, everybody split the bill, then it's fair. It's fair.
Well,
That's what we expect. Everybody pay the same rate.
I feel something that we're kind of missing is that I also think that and I read this online, is that like it's okay if you can't afford a wedding to just say to the couple, I can't go because I can't afford it. Then it's up to the couple's discretion to say like, don't worry, you can just come anyways, and we don't need you to cover the cost. So in the example of friends, a friend can say like, oh sorry, I don't want to go to this restaurant because it's a bit too expensive. I'll call this one a miss. And then the rest of the friends can say like, why don't you just come anyways, and we'll cover, pay whatever you are happy to pay, and then we'll cover the rest.
Yeah, so that's essentially our point. That's why
No,
you
but
shouldn't cover your own costs.
As in like, so the general...
So it's to the wedding guest's discretion. Yeah, your own,
That's right.
what you can afford, what you're capable of. That's essentially our whole point.
No.
Yes.
What I'm
Yes,
saying
yes,
is that the
yes.
general...
You got
The general rule should be everyone should pay, but then the couple who's getting married can use their discretion to say, if some people can't afford it, we want you to be there anyways. Don't worry about covering the cost. Let me tell you a story that I heard from an unnamed minister.
Oh,
right?
Name it.
Yeah,
Name.
just like he said it.
Name.
But like as in like he told me that when he was in university in the UK, he once wrote a letter to like all the football clubs, many football clubs in England,
I
saying like,
can pretty much guess.
Can I go? I'm a student. I can't afford it, but I really want to watch a match. Would you be able to extend some sort of like student deal for me as a student? He couldn't afford to go. And one club, the greatest club of all, Liverpool, wrote back to him and said like, you know what? The only club that wrote back to him was Liverpool.
This.
The what?
The only club that wrote back to him was Liverpool. And they let him go to the match for free. And so now he's not a Liverpool supporter, I don't think, but he always has a soft spot for Liverpool. So let me tell you why this analogy works. It's because the general rule when you want to visit a football match is you have to pay for the ticket. Everybody agrees that. Everybody agrees to that. But the football club can have the discretion to let someone attend for free, and that's totally up to them. And when they do that, then it's very special to that person.
That analogy is flawed because football clubs, they don't personally invite their fans.
Yeah.
You
I
come
would like
to
you
our
to come
match.
to watch
You come to our
Everton
match.
versus Liverpool.
You know
please.
Shahinda binti Ishak, come to our match today.
Come.
No. That is up to them to pay
That's right.
to come.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. Of course,
Yeah,
it's not
so
a
your
perfect
analogy,
example. But like, I'm just
so
trying to
that's
illustrate.
why-
I'm trying to
why I said
illustrate.
your analogy is flawed.
Yes.
Okay,
So
fine.
we just gotta.
It's
So
flawed.
he agrees. So let's just
He
not
agrees
take
that Liverpool is not the greatest club in the world. Yes.
Yeah, neither is Man U, by the way.
I never said that.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah,
At least
'cause
you're
it's definitely
self-aware.
not true.
yeah. At least he's self-aware.
No, but like you were talking
Let's
about
talk
how
about it.
weddings, joyous occasion.
Mm.
It's
Ah,
all
yes,
about the
yes.
love behind it, right? And the love that your family and friends have come to share with you. Maybe in a society where saying I love you may not be as easy to others, money is a great way to show that you love and you care for that person. And what better way than to help cover the cost of something that they know that is pretty expensive. So like it's like giving your parents allowance every month, right? That's your way of contributing to paying them back, saying thank you for everything that you've done for me. Here's like a stipend amount that I'll give you from my salary to show that I love you as well. So it's there, just because it's money doesn't mean there's no emotion behind it, there's no love. Money doesn't cheapen the wedding.
Yeah, let me give you another example.
Sure.
Is it another football club?
Every month
take
I
it
have
back.
to pay
Don't continue.
my
Take it
Liverpool
back.
FC
Okay, Liverpool,
my
sure.
Liverpool FC TV Gold membership fee.
And
I
what do
give
you
it to
get
them
from
anyway because I love Liverpool FC. Yeah, just saying. Okay. Every
wrong
month I
there,
have to
though.
pay
Enough.
my Netflix membership,
What are you
but
trying
I
to
give it
say?
to them anyway because I love Netflix. Go on, sorry.
I don't think we need to
I'm just
answer
saying.
this because this is
Okay.
a flawed thing altogether.
Yeah, all of it is so
Oh, sorry.
Like,
Okay.
you're jumping back.
You just jump off a cliff.
So the producers will edit out the one that doesn't work, right?
We want this round, alright? After that, abysmal performance.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Okay, just edit out the one that doesn't make sense. Okay, next.
None of it makes sense.
Next point. What was your shortfall for your wedding?
Oh, I think a couple of $1,000.
That's pretty good, right?
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Because
good.
you don't.
So the majority of your guests,
I suppose, yes.
and could you argue that like that the fact that you didn't go into great debt, because a lot of people covered the costs of their way at the wedding, has allowed you today to provide the life that you can for your beautiful children.
No.
They can go to school.
No.
Stressed. They don't have to worry about what they're going to eat on the weekend.
Yeah,
Because
it's all
you're gonna
because
go
of his
there,
wedding. You're right.
They can be
It's all
ferried
because of
around
his
in
wedding.
that
Yeah, because of my
beautiful
wedding.
Land Rover.
No,
of
I sold
yours.
it.
Oh,
Ask
I
the
see.
producer.
They
I
have-
sold it because of my wedding.
They enjoy the security of a roof above their head because many
let's
of
go
your
for coffee.
guests
Hey, yes, yeah.
helped
go.
you to cover the costs of your exorbitant and luxurious, decadent wedding ceremony.
It doesn't go so far.
Where the
Decadent,
alcohol was flowing freely.
Was influenced.
There was so much alcohol.
Look at me.
That I can't
Okay,
string up
brief.
a sentence.
Yeah, I'm just asking a question.
Just,
That's all. I'm just
no, look at
asking
me.
a
Look at
question.
me. Take a deep breath.
You need a breathalyzer.
Okay, out.
Yeah. So is that fair to say or not fair to say? Or not fair to say? Okay, let's move on.
Final
Okay.
point.
So the final point that we would like to bring up
Yeah.
is that
The final
by-
blow.
Okay, that's what she said.
That's not what I meant.
That's kind of good. I have to admit.
Management's
Wow.
gonna love that one.
That's amazing. Whew. Okay, last point, everyone.
The last point.
Blow me away.
That's what Xing Qi said when he got his wedding bill. Then like later that night when he counted the ang pao, he was like, "Whoo, okay, let's move on."
Okay, so our final point is something that could create tension. If your parents pay like a large sum or the majority of their wedding, you know that they want to have a say in what is gonna be supposed to be your most joyous occasion in life. By taking away that power from your parents, by using the money that is meant for your wedding given to you by your guests, you're now allowed to think about having a wedding for you, not out there to appease your parents. Did your parents help, or did maybe your wife's
Right.
parents
Wait, just
actually
answer the question.
contribute?
Don't make a point. Just answer the question.
Hey, we can share. Both of us can share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because we're not going through it right now, but you have gone through it and you are going through it.
I'm going through it, man.
Yeah,
And
your
look at you, how
so going
stressed
through
you
it.
are from planning your wedding. Like, imagine that you can just alleviate this stress by
No, I wouldn't want that. Personally,
Ah, okay.
I wouldn't want
So
that.
yeah, are you gonna pay for your whole wedding?
Yeah, me and
so
my
your
fiance
parents-
were paying for our own wedding.
Yeah, but is it at all? Does it at all happen in Malay culture that parents might help to pay for a wedding?
Yeah, parents
Yeah,
do.
okay.
Yeah, parents do. It depends also, but I still think personally, it shouldn't be on the wedding guests to help to cover it, right? Just because the decision is out of your control doesn't mean, oh man, look, my
Wait, I
parents.
thought we were just sharing. Not
Oh,
making
okay,
points.
okay. Sorry.
I mean,
Okay,
you
my
got-
answer is no. I
Okay.
pay for my own.
Okay, carry on. I'm not gonna make any points.
so like
Wait, later. No, I mean, going back to this thing, like helping the couple have the wedding that they want, right? I think if you are invited to a wedding, you are presumably someone that's really special to the couple, important enough that they want you to be there at this once in a lifetime event.
Yeah, sorry you're not going to my wedding, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I wouldn't
This
invite someone who
invited on the
destroyed me in a
internet,
debate
this
to
is
my
like,
wedding
wow.
either. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Okay, Liverpool.
so if you are someone who's really important to the couple and you think the couple are important enough for you that you want to be at their wedding, why not help them have the most magical, amazing night of their lives? Like, if you put it in that perspective, like, $200 is peanuts to help this couple have the best night possible.
I mean, on top of like giving gifts, which you guys said can be very stressful sometimes.
Yeah, super stressful.
There are other ways. And what I mean by this is, for example, you can help them in the preparation of the wedding. You can help them during the wedding process itself. So it's more than just money. There are so many ways for us to actually show that love, that respect for the couple.
I think the other thing is there's a limited amount of those roles that can be fulfilled. Like, I mean, you only need like a certain amount of reception. It's not like freaking if you're gonna have like 500 guests, like 200 receptionists or something like that. Like, there's only a limited amount of roles. The other thing I think as well, for many couples that are getting married, they probably also want their guests to have a good time as well. So they don't want their guests to be like running around, like having to organize things as well. So, one way, it's not possible for every guest to be able to show their love to the couple by, helping them do stuff for the wedding. Sometimes the most practical thing is to just give money that will help the couple, cover the costs of their celebration.
I'm sure Syah can find a role for you.
I'll gladly do it. What do you want me to do, Syah?
A tattoo
Nothing,
man,
just don't even
ushering the
come.
guests in.
Why not?
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Very specific.
It's okay.
I've given a speech at like 2 weddings.
I
and
don't
one
need
of,
you to give
at
us
one of-
speech already.
At one of those weddings, the couple divorced. So I have a 50% success rate. I have a 50% success rate.
It's up to you to
Yeah.
increase the rate.
Let's go.
No, no.
Make it 75.
As a society, I think, not just in Singapore, but just in the whole world. I mean, we see wedding prices increasing everywhere, not just in Singapore. And we just let it, we just let the wedding industry continue to give out all this crazy... Yeah. Yeah, for Malay weddings, okay? It can be between 10K to that's the cheapest. And then the most expensive one could be around 30 to 40K. Sometimes I take a step back and I'm like, why are we just letting them do this to us? This is so ridiculous. This wedding is for us, for our family, for our loved ones, and we just let traditions, culture, the wedding industry dictate how our special occasion should be. And that to me sucks lah. Yeah.
I suppose on this
Speaking
point we
from
can
the
all
heart.
agree. United against
Capitalism, stick
yes.
it to the man.
No, I agree that weddings don't have to be expensive. But as in like for the
saying
sake of
but
this
lah.
for the sake of this debate, like the point I want to make is that no matter the price of the wedding, like the guest should cover the cost. So even if it's a cheap, even if it's like $15 a hit, just give a $15 ang pao then. Yeah. I'll give a little bit more if you can afford. Okay, but on that note, let's all hold hands and close. I'm just kidding.
No.
No, but okay, so maybe we can like talk about the solutions to this then. If this is and especially such a big topic, like apparently
Yeah,
this
definitely.
Dragon Year, everyone's getting married and all that kind of stuff. People are gonna need like helpful tips, So like what could be the solutions to this very, very controversial topic?
So my solution, right, is we need to apply for a permit at the Hong Lim Park. And just
Hey, I think that's kind of cool though.
Right.
That's
Actually,
idea
right.
leh.
Can you hold the wedding?
got another
Have a
very
rally
there's
somewhere.
another very obvious solution.
What?
Don't get married.
Coming from a person who's getting
Yeah, I was
married.
just saying.
I think we just need to take a step back and see, is this what we want? Can we afford this? And does it mean anything, doing all this lavish stuff, having a horse or a Lamborghini?
Stop bringing up a horse.
Why
Why do you
horse
keep
and
bringing up a
Lamborghini?
horse?
Did you ride it on a horse?
No.
Then
On a Lamborghini
I
though.
walked in. Okay, in my bag. Yeah.
If you
With
had to
what?
cover the full cost of your wedding, would you have been able to?
No, I didn't cover the cost. I mean, I can't.
As in, you wouldn't have been able to. So
Yeah,
you were,
yeah.
so you were somewhat depending on people to give ang paos to help you.
Of course, I take this as a expenditure. So I'm not saying that, I want to have a profit, I want to break even, or I want to lose only a certain amount. I have no such figures going in.
Yeah.
Okay, but the whole night I'm thinking,
But that makes
am
it
I
like
gonna break
a,
even? But I'm very stressed and keep drinking.
it's like a budgetary night. Like, how do you budget for something like that, right?
the major point in this is because there's that idea of expectations. So maybe you should communicate with your guests. Tell them that, hey, you know what? No pressure on you to give this amount, but if you want to, we are so grateful for you to do that. You can give more if you want. So it's all this like, just communicate, talk to your guests. And I'm sure that if they're close enough, if they mean a lot to you, they will definitely understand,
All right.
Okay,
I think we have said what we said.
Really, you're gonna start with that?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it is
said
not
what
a
we've said.
business
It is what it is.
transaction.
Oof.
You know, it's about love. You shouldn't be. We shouldn't be covering your costs. I mean, ultimately, right? I mean, I say this all the time. Getting married is easy, but staying married is difficult.
Ooh.
In closing, after all that we said, I think that there are a few things that we can all agree on. One is that
Not really.
there are some traditions
right.
that are bad, but there are some traditions which are good, and the good ones should be retained. The next thing we can agree on, I think, is that it's better for wedding guests to be able to go just to the wedding and to be there and enjoy the moment and to have no guilt and no stress. I think that sounds like a good thing. I think we can all agree on that. And then the next thing I think we can all agree on is that it would be good for the couple to have a wedding that they are happy with. Though, you know, I think that as a society, we need to go beyond being happy with a lavish wedding. I think we can agree on these things.
Okay, that's the end of our debate. We've both sides have given our closing statements. We've given all our points. I think the against team was better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
do
can
not
you-
decide
Yeah,
that.
okay,
We
so-
don't
yeah.
decide that. Other
Yeah,
people
but
do.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, other people
Yeah.
decide
You're
that
just biased.
because
that
we
does
put up
not
a
count.
poll in our YouTube community page to
I was
let you
giving him
guys decide who
same,
won. So head on there now to vote and for us.
Yeah,
Vote for
us,
the team
Shahinda
that
and
you
Xing Qi.
feel is,
Syah
presented
Xing
their
Qi.
point better.
Shang-Chi. Whew.
Shang-Chi. The Legend of 10 Rings.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake here. Each winning team, the members of each winning team gets one whole master debater point. As you
Master
can see,
debater.
we all want to be the master debater. Isn't that right, Xing Qi?
Yes.
So
That's the
go
name of your
vote.
sex tape.
Go vote now.
And just another gentle reminder that the views expressed in this
That's
podcast
so funny.
do not represent the views of Mothership or other associated parties. Disclaimer.
Okay, so remember to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and give us a rating if you're listening on Spotify. We really appreciate it.
Finally, thank you, Audio-Technica, for powering the audio in this podcast.
Woo.
Powering. Say that again.
You guys can't make fun of the sponsor statement. Like, literally, like
I'm
the
making
one.
fun of your accent,
No,
not the
I feel like
sponsor.
you're
Next episode,
personally,
you're using a little
yeah, personally attacking Audio-Technica with these
No,
statements.
I'm not attacking them.
No, that's the line. I read it.
Alright.
No. It's just your accent. I'm just.
You
I
don't
don't
need
think
to
so,
read that
yeah.
line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Powering.
So thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next week. Okay, sorry, next
Bye.
episode.
Next.
If
Next.
there's a next episode.
Next.
If there's a next episode.
Yeah. If, I don't know. People might, management
See
will,
you guys next time.
management might
Bye.
cancel us before a sex joke.
Bye. Keep quiet lah.